All right. All right, here we go. Welcome, YouTube. We are live on location at Eastern Outfitters. And so, what we're going to do while we're waiting on everybody to get in here, waiting on people to get logged on, just going to take you around the store, show you around Eastern Outfitters a little bit. So, check it out, man. Eastern's got it going on. If you like to hunt, they got hunting stuff going on. If you like guns, they got guns. And if you like to fish, man, this is the place to be. And check this out. Huck gear, my favorite. Check it out. Kayaks. Everybody loves this. They got Pelican in here. They got New Canoe. Hey, and I don't know how many of y'all have seen the I don't know how many of you guys have actually seen what's going on with Pelican, but they're about to give Hobie a run for the money with that pedal drive they come out with. I saw it in iCast. They've announced it, man. That pedal drive is going to be off the chain. So anyway, let me take a second and make sure that we got. All right, man. I see Wesley Carl's on here. He said, I thrown them business. All Gigging Slabs is on here. That new paddle drive is sick, he said. That new pedal drive. I said paddle drive. So we're gonna take just a couple minutes, man, to let a few people get chimed in here. Oh, my man Wes Lovelace. What's up, Wes? Wes is on here. Roger, you would love him, man.
Just signed on to his channel.
Oh, you just came up, you just subscribed to him? Cool deal. So, all right, so everybody's being camera shy, so check this out. This is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna introduce you to everybody. I'm inside the fishing hut right now. This is Roger Jones. You can say hi to everybody,
What's up,
Roger?
YouTube? Here live with Topwater Tony, Carolina Kayak Adventures. Ready to go.
This is my mentor right here. My man is showing me what to do with Topwater. But anyway, Roger's got an Instagram channel. You've got to, who's that? Josh Hollingsworth is on there. And somebody else said hey to you. I didn't catch that last comment.
Okay.
But anyway, Roger's got an Instagram channel. You guys have got to check out his Instagram channel, man. He's got tons of fishing stuff on there. So if you're not following him on Instagram, you need to hook up with him anyway. And then this is my man Luke. He's a fishing pro. And Luke is going to be actually taking over. They're going to be opening up a store down in Leland, and Luke is going to be running the fishing department down there. So that's going to be really cool. Luke's a good guy. He's going to be one of our experts. And here's the deal with the talk that we're doing tonight. We're basically going to talk about Topwater, and this is going to be like hanging out with people that like to fish Topwater, and picking their brains. As if you're just sitting here and you're hanging out and you're talking about fishing like we do, when you go into the store and hang out. That's basically what we're going to do. And I've got some questions that I want to know. And here's the deal: I for sure am not a guru with Topwater. What I've done this year is I've made the decision that I want to catch more fish using Topwater. And something that I believe in is that if you want to catch fish with a certain type of lure, no matter what it is, you just got to work it. You just got to tie that thing on, and you got to grind it out. And if you're smart, you'll pay attention when you catch a fish and where you caught it and what happened and what the conditions were and that kind of thing. And that's called time on the water, TOW. That's called time on the water. Would y'all agree with that?
100%.
So it's hard to beat time on the water. But here's a secret hack. Oh, my man Tommy's on here. Say hey, Tommy. Hey. So here's a secret. Here's a life hack. Is that if you can get around other people that have spent a lot of time on the water, that will reduce your learning curve some. So that's basically what's happening today. That's what we're doing today. We're going to get in here and talk a little bit. So Ozzy's going to be coming in. Ozzy is another he likes to fish top water a lot.
Yeah.
And so he's a big time top water guy. So what we're going to do, check out the fishing hut here, man. This is really cool. Before we go over there, check this out, y'all. When you come into Eastern, they really do have their stuff together. It's a really cool place. They got good gear. That's one of the things that really made me like Eastern Outfitters is you don't come in here and buy a bunch of junk, man. You come in here and they've got quality stuff, good reels. There's the shield. You guys will see me do a video on the Tsunami shield. The Dabble Fuego. Y'all don't even understand. That has become, right now, it's my favorite reel. It's hasn't been time tested for me as far as I'm concerned. But when you come into Eastern, get your reel. They can line it for you right here. They've got, look at that. They got every kind of fishing line, braid, whatever it is that you want, man. These guys got it going on. All right, fellas, let's head over. Let's go over to the lures and let's just talk. Y'all cool with that?
Cool with that.
Tommy and his son, they're gonna come over and
That's right.
hang out with us.
We'll figure it out.
There were people talking about coming and hanging out, which is good. Man, tell me your name again.
I'm Nathan.
Nathan.
Yes, sir.
You're on Instagram too, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah, I'm
Me
pretty
and
sure.
Ella fish together all the time.
That's what I thought. I thought that. So Nathan's a guru too. You can chime in if you want to.
I know a little bit, but not as much as y'all probably.
No, not as much as these guys.
Not as much as him, for sure. He's a pro.
How you doing?
All right, so
Right.
here we are.
I think so too. I know.
We are. This is their basically a top water section. Actually, a hard plastic section. All right, so you've got. This is what happens when you come into. This is what a guy like me. All right, a guy who is not any kind of an expert. I come in and I'm looking at all of these lures. Right, you got mirror lures. All right, you get over here, you got your Zuri. You come on down here, you got the Skitter Walk by Rapala. You got the Head and Spook. All these different lures, right? All different shapes. Some of them have tongues. Like, I don't know. Mirror lure right here. The mirror Mirrodine. Made myself learn how to fish that lure. And, I kept hearing all these people catching fish with it. And I would throw it, and I was wasting time. I was not catching fish with it. And so here's one of the secrets. This is one of those when you were in school and the teacher was gonna you were gonna have a test, and this question might be on the test, and she would stomp her feet and be like, "This might be on the test." This is one of those that's on the test. If you want to learn how to fish a lure, tie it on, and don't tie something else on. Tie it on and grind it out. That's the way you learn. In my opinion, that's how you learn how to fish. That's it. That's right. Get out of your comfort zone. Make yourself tie your stuff on. So anyway, here we go. Here's what happens. You come over here and you see all these different lures. And if you're like me and you don't fish top water that much, it looks interesting. You'd like to learn what to do. You come over and you hear people talking this and that and the other. You grab one, you tie it on, you take it out, you throw it a little bit. It looks good in the water, makes some little noise, does some stuff, and doesn't catch any fish. And so you put it away. You tie a jig head on with a ripple mullet and you tear it up. Right? That's what I was doing. That's what was happening, honestly. And so it would make me put away the top water. And I did what I'm telling you right now. I decided, I want to learn how to fish top water. I tied some lures on, and I got out there and grinded it out and began to catch fish. I am by no means an expert, but what I want to do is get a couple people together and talk tonight and kind of pry their brains. Let's start with this. Let's start with preparation. You're getting ready to head out. You want to go fishing top water, right? So, Roger, this is going to be one of the first questions. You're getting ready to go out. Tomorrow you're going to go fish top water. All right? What are you going to do? What kind of things are you going to look at? Is there weather apps you look at? Is there tide charts? Do these things come in to be a factor for you as far as preparing? What's your idea about that?
Well, ideally for top water, inshore, shallow water stuff that we like to do, a nice calm morning with no wind is ideal.
Right.
But if the wind's blowing a little bit, then you just kind of change your strategy more with your bait than what you plan on doing that day. So if it's nice and slick and calm, I'm going to throw some smaller. I'm a skitterwalk guy.
Right.
Number 8 skitterwalks on good, calm, smooth water. If there's chop on the water, I'm going to probably go with a 1-knocker spook or maybe a she-dog, so it makes a little bit more racket.
All right, so here's what he's talking about. So he's first. The first thing is he's looking at move that mic closer. Okay, sorry about that, Wes. Appreciate that. Oh, that was Wesley Carl. So here's the thing about. Here's what we're talking about. We looking at the weather, looking for calmer wind. You're going to have better success if the water's nice and slick. That's what's going to help us out. So we're looking at it. One of the things I do, I actually go on my local news channel, their weather app. I look at their stuff and I see what the winds are going to be. Because I'm in a kayak, you're in a kayak,
Absolutely.
and that makes a big deal to begin with. You know how much I really feel like fighting the wind and whatever. But so I look at one of the things that I do, even whether I'm fishing top water or not, I look at the direction of the wind. All right, so if we're going to have a north wind, then I personally like to get on northern banks. In other words, wind protected. So if the wind's coming from the north, I go fishing north bank. The wind's got to come across the ground and trees and everything else. It's going to go over you before it goes back down and starts hitting the water. So I fish protected shorelines. If the wind's out of the southeast, then I'm going to go on Google Earth and look where I'm going to fish and try to fish like that. But if it's a 3 to 4 mile an hour wind, most of the time I think you're going to probably be okay no matter what the direction is. So that's you have maybe a little bit of chop, but not too bad. So that's the first thing I do in preparation. I like to tie on my lures the night before and have all my knots. I check all my knots and a good leader. I personally throw 10-pound braid with a 20-pound fluorocarbon leader. I use fluorocarbon and because all of my lures, that's what I throw. And so, I've heard some people say use mono because mono floats and would help with your top water. Me personally, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of using mono with braid because it stretches. So I think that's just a personal preference. But I use 10-pound braid with 20-pound leader. And I use an FG knot to tie my leader on, and a loop knot of some type to tie the lure on. So let's go here for just a second and look at the lure. So you like to use skitterwalk. That's what you said.
Yeah, skitterwalk in this SW8 size primarily.
All right, so that's the smaller one.
Smaller.
Right. This is the larger one. These are the two together.
Mm-hmm. And the way I fish, I try to get as far away from the bank as I can, and I fish banks.
Right.
And look for bait as much as possible. But you can throw these on a 7.5-foot rod. You can throw one of these into the next zip code. Basically, you can throw them a mile.
Right.
And some of your bigger lures, believe it or not, will helicopter on you, and you'll actually lose distance with a bigger lure.
Yep.
But these cast exceptionally well. And they also, you can walk them at such great angles that you can almost walk them while they're sitting still, so they stay in the strike zone a long time.
Staying in the strike zone a little bit longer. All right, so that's the skitter walk.
And we just talked about prior to the live stream, I don't know how many of these I've completely worn out.
Yep, the one knocker spook.
And it's basically around here anyway. Once it gets about an hour after the sun comes up, the wind always starts blowing. So the minute I get a little chop on the water, I'll start throwing something like this or a she-dog.
Okay, so let's talk about that for 1 second. What would you consider the difference between that skitter walk and the one knocker? What is the difference in it? What makes you tie that on?
Okay, well, the skitter walk has got a small rattle in it, and it's very deep.
Right, it's a small, deep.
Right, this has got it's got a bigger rattle in it, or a heavier one, and it's got more of a louder thunk to it.
Right.
I think it's just a noise thing to me that I'm comfortable with. And then when you change from this to a she-dog, they're really high pitched.
Right, a high pitch.
And the reason that I like small lures, but the reason I don't use I think it's the sheep up,
Right.
is because it's so light I can't get any casting.
It's hard to throw it, right?
But the she dog is just a little bit, and there's probably one up here somewhere. It's just a little bit bigger, but it's heavy and it throws good.
So here's the thing. I think the she dogs are over here, or the top dog anyway.
There she is, right there.
Yeah, that's the she dog.
And that's a good color right there too, especially for trout.
Yeah, that's definitely, everybody I talk to, they love that pink for trout, and a lot of guys even say they like it because they can see it well, not as much as what the trout do.
You always hear that the color of the topwater lure is for the angler, it's not for the fish. But for redfish, for sure, anything that's got a yellow bottom on it or a chartreuse bottom like this, and I told you I just got this one, I hadn't thrown it yet, but anything with that yellow, they just seem to love it.
Right.
I can't tell you why.
Yep, that yellow bottom.
These do ride low in the water, where like your spook juniors and things, they sit up on really high on top of the water.
Right.
But these do ride a little bit lower, and maybe more of the sound goes, is down in the water. I can't honestly tell you. I just know that they work.
This is one of the things that, so when I'm out there and I'm on the water and I'm fishing, I do my best to pay attention to everything around me, to what's going on. So when you get out there on the water, you've got a few different lures that we've talked about, right? You got a skitter walk, you got a one knocker. Those are a couple good ones to get. If you pick those up and throw those, you are upping your odds and your chances, I believe, in catching some fish. So there's you a couple good lures to get. When you get out there on the water, you could have the best bait, you could have the best rod, best reels, best everything, but if you're not in front of fish, you're not going to catch fish. Period. That really is the thing.
The real topwater expert just showed up here.
Yep.
No, sir.
What's up, Ozzy?
How's it going, partner?
This is Ozzy. He's the reason Ozzy's here is because this is all he throws is topwater, and he is a topwater guru, expert.
Nah, just here to learn something, I reckon.
So, anyway, the point that I was bringing up was we've talked about a couple different lures. But if you're not in front of fish, if you're not locating fish, you're not going to catch fish. You can throw and look good and have good technique and everything. You can have the best boat, best tackle, best technique. But if you're not where the fish are, all you're doing is wasting your time. You're not wasting your time, but you're practicing how to work your lure. You're getting some good practice in. So finding fish, right?
Okay.
When this is something that I started doing, and I want to hear from you guys, your opinion on this, all right? Like I said, I'm not an expert. This is the guy who's learning, and I'm going to tell you something that I'm learning, and I want to hear what the gurus have to say about it.
Looking at 3 students.
So what's happening is I'm going out on the water. I'm going around docks. That's where I'm fishing right now. I'm going early in the morning because most of the time around here, that's when the wind's light, right? So I'm catching a light wind. It doesn't matter what direction it's from. I really have found that I like a high tide, and I like a little bit of the tide moving, maybe the backside of a high tide. That's when I personally have been doing better, and that's recent. That's a recent thing. All right, I'm going out there. I'm on a higher tide. Because it's a high tide, I'm going to throw closer to the grass. I know that the bait is on a high tide, the closer, the more they can get up and hide in that grass, the more they do that. They love to get up in there in that grass. So I throw closer to the grass. But this is what I'm doing. I go out there and I'm quiet, for one. I ease up in my kayak and I stop and I listen. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not fishing. That don't mean I'm not throwing. I'm throwing and I'm working a lure because I may just run across one. But I'm listening. I've got my ears open to hear bait moving and bait running. I think that's one of the best indicators besides birds. Birds is a great indicator for where bait are. But when you're sitting here and you hear that bait, scared bait, that to me, I'm like, there's got to be a fish over there. And that will pull me. If I'm on one side of the dock and I see bait running, and then it runs again, I'm going to that other side of the dock. I'm going to paddle myself around there and go to that other side of that dock so I can throw where I'm finding bait. That's been successful for me. What do you guys think about that?
What you got?
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't even throw the plug typically, Tony, until I see some evidence of some fish, either some swirling or some bait busting or something. And most of the time, early in the morning, well, you get a rare sight like the one that you just had on one of your recent videos,
Right.
where they're feeding on the bait so hard that the bait is jumping out of the water into the marsh grass.
Yeah.
And I mean, when they're like that, you can catch them on a bottle cap.
Yeah.
But that's the ideal situation. But
Right.
if you can look for those subtle swirls in the morning when that water's like glass, and throw to those. And a lot of times, if you're not seeing any evidence of fish, there just isn't any there for the
Right.
most time.
And that's when you start grinding. What you agree with that?
I'm actually the polar opposite as far as you may see something first and then throw it. My top water bait would be my locator.
See,
Because it's loud, it covers water, and you're gonna catch fish that you're not directly under. You're gonna draw them to them with the knock and whatever. So that's my locator. I'm throwing it first thing in the morning just to find a fish. Once I find a fish, I'm likely to put it down and whether it be grab a fly rod or have whoever I'm with throw a soft plastic over there. It's just my locator.
right. See, now check this out. If you guys go back and look at a video we did called Eastern Outfitters meets Carolina Kayak Adventures, Ozzy and I were fishing together, and that's exactly what we did. And he said that while we were out there fishing, and that has so stuck in my mind that he uses the top water as a locator. And so here's what I do. Okay, I listen to two people that have success catching fish. I listen to what they're saying that they do, and you know what? I use both of them. I use both of them. If you listen to how I told you I'm fishing, even though I'm listening and I'm looking, I got my eyes open, looking for those baits and looking for those things that Roger was talking about. At the same time, I'm working it because that's how I've always fished. I'm always working a bait. Because if you don't have a hook in the water, man, it's hard to catch fish when there ain't a hook in the water. And so that's just my style and my technique, and it's what works for me. So
do things a little bit different if I was in a boat than the way we have to do it. Because
Solid
the only
point.
thing we have a very small area that we can cover in a kayak.
Right.
Even a good kayak like a Hobie, right?
Right.
A fast kayak like a Hobie.
yeah,
So going around and being stealthy and looking and finding them and staying as far away from them as you can,
Right.
is the key.
Yeah.
For me anyway.
one of the things in a kayak, if you're watching this and you're a kayak angler, one of the things is, man, you got to grind it out. No matter what, you've got to grind it out. And I had like an hour this morning to be able to get on the water, and I jumped in the water for like an hour, and I wasn't seeing bait, I wasn't seeing anything, and I was just fishing, and I wound up hooking up to a donkey that pulled me over into the docks, and I straight horsed that thing and actually pulled the hook on it. And my reasoning with that was I'd rather pull the hook and keep my lure than him take it and cut me off. Because I'm trying to keep my
That's
lures.
$10.
Yeah, it is, So anyway, that's kind of what I did. But I did wind up actually catching a 23-inch drum this morning, and it was purely grinding. It was just there wasn't a school of fish there. It was just that I fished enough until I found one that just happened to be there.
Either that or you can call them up like Ozzy just said.
Yeah.
Because the whole deal with the topwater thing is a disturbance. It's a reaction bite.
Yeah.
It's making them think it's something that it's not.
All right,
you got
so
2 out of the 3. You got the sound, you got the way it looks. I mean,
Yep.
everything but smell you got.
and I actually I cheated a little bit this morning, put some Procure on mine.
So you 3 for 3, man. There wasn't
know?
no reason to not catch a fish.
Yeah, So check this out, guys. I want to show you a couple baits that I've been having success on. This morning, there was a light chop. It was just a light chop. How long do you make your leaders when? That's a great question. How long do you make your leaders?
Fluorocarbon about 20 inches.
20 inches?
You probably do 3 feet, right?
With my top waters, I recently started fishing monofilament opposed to fluorocarbon.
Right.
Fluorocarbon sinks and pulls the nose of my top waters down.
Right.
Monofilament floats, so it stays real good and walks real well.
Uh-huh.
So 18 to 24 inches of monofilament.
Right. And so what's so funny about that is, like you guys heard me say this a little while ago before Ozzy got here, was I use fluorocarbon because it's like all my lures. When I get to a point where I'm through fishing top water and I go to a jig head, I can take it and just cut that lure off and tie another one on, and I keep on going. Maybe that's cutting me down. Wes Lovelace, this man is an expert. He says he uses 2 feet, a 30-pound mono. Wes is the man. I'm telling you. Like,
Yep.
so thank you for that, Wes. I appreciate that. That's a great question though. And to tell you the truth, since I went to Florida, I have actually started tying on way longer leaders. I probably am tying about 3 feet a leader on.
Yeah.
And
growing up on the west side bass fishing, man, we're throwing however long your rod is.
right.
Is about what your leader is. So I grew up throwing 7-foot fluorocarbon leaders. This is what you did.
Right.
I come here and then everybody says it's not necessary.
Mhm.
I made the switch to 18 inches.
Right.
24 inches.
And what, you know, one of the things that got me to tying the longer leader was a point that Ty from 30 miles out said. I was fishing with him, and he tied the longest leader I've ever seen, and he said because the water's so clear, and we have some pretty clear water back behind Topsail Island, so I started doing it, and that's the reason I use an FG knot. That FG knot will go through the guides, and I don't have any problems with tying that. Maybe I'll do a thing one time on how to tie that. But anyway, I want to show you.
I'd like to know how to tie that knot.
Good.
I'm good with it. I can tie FG knot and tie it fast too.
You tie it on the water, or do you tie
Oh, absolutely. I tie it right down the water, man. It's like it takes me less than a minute.
it? Good on you.
Yep. So anyway, I've had to tie it a bunch, man, because I've been getting cut off on these docks. So this lure, this is what I tied on this morning. So what happened was when I got out there, had a little wind blowing. It wasn't blowing hard, but every now and then I get a gust, and I had a lot of boats going by. So where I was fishing, it was creating a chop. And because I've been listening to what these guys said, I already had one actually tied on to my rod. I threw this on and started fishing it, and that's what I actually hooked up the 2 fish that I hooked into this morning. That's what I hooked into them with. I want to show you. I got my rods over here somewhere. Thank you, Tommy. So here's how I went out this morning. This is how I went this morning. Okay, so I have right here. This is a sorry about that. This is a TFO rod. This is my favorite rod. I love this rod. It's a 7.6. That 7.6 rod gives me a lot of casting distance, and I really believe that that's important. Another thing I have become a huge fan of is the Daiwa Fuego. I have had no wind knots with this thing, none. A lot of good stuff about the Daiwa Fuego, but the reason that I really like it, what made me purchase this, is how light it is. It's a really light reel. So it's got great casting. It casts really well. But what I had tied on is a skitter walk, and it's a bigger skitter walk. And I threw and threw and threw all over the place. A couple times I saw some bait and threw into it, and I didn't have any hits. And it's one of the ways that I fish, whether I'm doing top water or what, is I try something, I change cadence. I was throwing fast, going slow, doing different things. I was doing pauses, all kinds of stuff, and nothing was working. And so I picked up this rod. I had this one. This is a Star rod, and I've got a Pin Clash on here, another light reel. And when you're working top water and you're throwing that much, and you're working that hard, man, a light reel makes a huge difference. But anyway, I threw this one knocker on here and started fishing. So this is the loop knot I tie, and I won't tie that knot today. Maybe I'll do a class on it, do a little short video. But this knot is a loop knot, and the reason I use a loop knot is because it frees it up. Will you hold it for me right now?
Yeah, I will.
So what happens is this loop that's on here, it actually is giving me more action to my lure because it's allowing it to be free. If you tie like a fisherman's knot and you're like straight to it, you're reducing the amount of play that you're going to be able to get. So I recommend tying a loop knot. And I'll be honest, everything that I tie that knot.
Really?
I do. I tie jig heads. I tie every lure that I work because I want the most action I can get out of whatever it is. So every single lure that I tie on, that's the knot that I use. And I can't remember the name of the knot, so I don't want to like, Anyway, I'll do a video on that, but that's what's going on there.
Have you always thrown the longer 7'6" rods,
I
Tommy?
I've used 7.6 rods for quite a while, especially I used to have a boat and fish a lot from the boat, and when I had my boat I used 7.6 rods. And it's because I got that casting distance. My son prefers a 7 foot rod. No, excuse me, he likes a 7.6 rod. There's a lot of people I know that like a 7 foot
I'm
in a
7 foot.
kayak. Um, just sometimes the butt's a little bit shorter. When you got a belly like mine, man, that butt makes a difference. But you know what? This is one of the things that I love about Tipple Fork Outfitters. That's a 7.6,
What a
and
short butt.
look at the butt on that thing. When you go from there to there and see where those reels are, that's a 7.6 rod, and you're all the way down here, so you're getting a flat ton of leverage on there. So that leverage helps you with the casting and it helps with the fighting. That's the reason I really prefer that type of rod. And another thing I like personally, and this is probably where everybody's going to be so different, I like a really fast action. This is what I prefer. I throw jig heads, everything that I work, except for the mirror lure. The mirror lure, I've found that I like that soft tip on that. I feel like I'm working the lure a little bit more proper, and it helps me from pulling hooks off of the trout with that soft mouth.
What are you throwing on your top water?
As far as the rod,
Yeah.
everything I've got 7.6, medium heavy, and fast or extra fast action tips.
There you go. I think somebody asked you a question.
Yep. Somebody asked me if I'm still using the Tsunami. I used that Tsunami shield for a year, and it has my absolute stamp of approval. I had zero problems with it. None. No problems with that reel. The only reason I switched is weight. It's a heavier reel, and but I love it. There's not a thing wrong with it. Anyway, so we're getting close to having to wrap up, man. We've been going for like a little over 30 minutes. I got a couple more little questions I want to ask you guys.
Okay.
This is something that I'm curious about. When you're working topwater, is cadence. All right, and it's one of the reasons I brought the rod. I actually want to see you put it in your hand. And when I'm out there and I'm working a rod, and I'm working this topwater bait, when you're getting this bait out there in the water, somebody said they bought one for surf fishing. That's awesome.
Oh, that's cool. I'd like to see how that turns out.
You're getting your bait. Walking the dog is basically like that, okay?
Yeah, he does.
You're getting this lure to go back and forth like this right here, right? But my question is this: are you like chicka 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 chicka? Are you fast? Or are you like chicka chicka chicka? Does that make sense? Y'all like my sound effects?
That was pretty spot on.
It's about what it sounds like, right? Some of them are chugga chugga, some of them are chigga chigga. So,
Go ahead.
Man, like we talked the other day, my cadence goes, it's kind of like patterning the fish. Are they close to the bank that day? Or are they off the bank that day? Are they on the docks that day? What side of them? Same way with the cadence. I'll switch it up till I get a blow up. However I got the blow up, how I stay.
right.
So,
Maybe you'll go fast for a little while. If you're not getting it, you'll slow it down.
Yes, sir. And then I take into account conditions. If it's a day like a super low barometric pressure day, and I don't think they're really going to commit to much, I can go ahead and slow it down because I know those fish aren't going to be as aggressive. But
On a low barometric pressure. So when the barometric pressure is low, that's typically right before front is coming in. So if you're paying attention to your weather, when it rains, that's a low pressure. So if you've got a low barometric pressure, I know that sounds deep, but I'm telling you, man, all of this stuff matters. That's the reason we're doing this, the reason we're talking this.
So if they're less aggressive or won't
Low
commit,
tip retrieve, better walking very speed. That's what Wes Lover said. He likes the low tip.
so keep it down on the water. Me too.
We have no choice. We're sitting on the water. In the
There
kayak.
you
Yeah.
go. There you go. What does West fish out of?
Wes fishes out of a boat. Yep. It's kind of like an aluminum boat.
Gotcha.
Yeah. He's in a whole nother situation there, man. He's got it's almost rock bottom where he's fishing. The bottom, like how we have mud and sand and stuff here, it's rock where he's at. But I'm gonna tell you what, that guy catches a flat ton of fish. So let's watch your rod tip a little bit. Just he's doing exactly what Wes just said.
So if I was on the water, like he said, low tip, and maybe it comes from fly fishing, but I keep my tip pointed to the lure,
Right?
so I don't have to go as far when I do have to set the hook or what have you. And then if I was reeling just, I guess like that, I guess it's a little different not retrieving it.
Uh-huh.
But that's all the movement you need. You don't need to work.
Mega House Fishing, what's up?
Yeah, exactly. And like he's talking about the fast action, or I like me and him were talking just now. We like a stiffer action rod or a stiffer rod, because if you have a light action rod, you're gonna have to pull it so much further to get so much more action. But if it's a stiffer rod, then you get a lot less work on your wrist. And
Right.
your hand.
Here's how I check a rod. Whenever I go into and I'm looking at rods. Matter of fact, let's pull one off the shelf. Will you hold this for me, Tommy?
Can you yank one real quick?
Yeah, man. Look at a battalion. Y'all got a battalion over here?
Yes, you're on the right eye.
I bet you they have a pin battalion up here somewhere. Where are they? Yeah. All right. So here's one.
That's the squadron.
Squadron. All right. So if I pick this rod up, right? What I do to look at the tip is I'm going to take it and I lay it on the floor and I push on it. And I want to see where that bend is. And I want to see how much pressure is it taking when I go and I push this down, right? So let's find one with like a soft tip. This one's actually got kind of a fast action to it. This is
Fast right here.
this Squadron is actually, I've given, man, I don't know how many of those away. So it looks like that one's got a little bit softer tip, right?
Yep.
All right, so that's what I prefer. I prefer the stiff tip. I don't like that right there. The only time I fish a rod like that is when I'm trout fishing. This rod right here, I'm gonna be fishing
This is
from
extra fast.
yeah, that's extra fast. So that's just what I personally prefer.
When you're testing rods, coming from a tackle shop employee, there's nothing that makes us more anxious when someone comes in, runs their hand up to the tip, and bends it over.
Right.
That is
The ugly stick kind?
That would be the correct way to test a rod.
Yeah.
Coming from a tackle shop employee's perspective.
Yeah. I've actually seen people break one in a Walmart before.
Lord of mercy, please
Yeah.
put it on the ground.
That's how I do it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a great way to see what the rod's going to actually do. And you know, a layman looking at it, the farther closer to the tip that you can really get it to bend is going to be the stiffer that rod's going to be. And being stiff is going to help you with the hook set, and I believe it helps with being able to work the lure also. That's just a personal thing. So we talked about cadence.
Talked about different techniques for different fish, because most of the time around here, if we're fishing topwater, we're fishing for either trout or redfish.
Trout or
Fish in the
redfish.
river, maybe trying to catch strikers.
This kind of goes back to the cadence thing that we were talking about before, where with the redfish, what Roger has taught me and what I've gone out trying and have found in you know the fishing that I've been doing is the drum like that action. They like that. Oh, let's show you the lure. Chicka, 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 chicka. They like that nonstop. I'll do that all the way back to my kayak. I don't do a whole lot of pauses, even though I did actually catch one today on a pause. Roger corrected me and told me that more than likely what happened was his mouth was already open.
I've had so many times that I've had blow-ups on topwater, and a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, when I was really getting into topwater fishing, I would stop.
Right.
I'd get a blow-up, or I'd stop if I saw a red following,
Yep.
and he'd just turn around and leave.
Right.
And then I fished with a buddy of mine who we were trout fishing, and we were 25 feet apart. And when he caught his fourth 18, 19-inch trout, I started paying attention to what he was doing.
Right.
And he was pausing. He would hit it. How do you say it? Chicka, chicka?
Chicka, chicka.
Okay, he would hit 3 or 4 clicks. He'd stop. Then he'd do 4 or 5 more, and he'd stop. And they would always hit it on that stop. Whereas if those were redfish, my experience has been they just turn and leave. So it's that's the trout bite versus the redfish bite from my perspective around here. The other thing that I tell everybody is fish that lure to the boat. I don't know how many times that I've been ready to pull the lure out of the water and they crush it.
Right.
And I think that from my perspective anyway, I think that they feel like that the bait's about to get away from them, or your kayak or your boat is like a structure or a hard bank or something, and they're used to pushing bait up against hard banks.
Right.
So when it just about to go out of the water, I've actually thought I was lifting my rod up to put my lure away and go somewhere else, and I thought it was hung on something. It was in a redfish.
So let's talk about that 1 second. Check this out. Here's something that me as a novice topwater fisherman, what I was doing when I was first trying to get a topwater bite, and I was having a couple blow ups. When I get to blow up, I did exactly what Roger was talking about. Either number one, I would stop,
or jerk it away,
or I would jerk it clean out his mouth, especially when he hit it. So this is something else that I started doing, and I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but I'm getting hookups. Is that I'm watching the bait go across the water, and all of a sudden you hear what sounds like a toilet bowl flush, and it's like whoosh, and then it's gone. Right? You see that? I learned the toilet bowl flush from him, by the way. But anyway, you see that bait disappear. When that bait disappeared, I yanked it, and I yanked with everything I had. No, what I have started doing now is it disappears, and all I do is keep my line tight. I just keep the line tight, apply more pressure, and start reeling them in. That's what I've been doing.
Just keep working it. Even if it's in his mouth and it's under, just keep working it. When you feel the weight of the fish, just start reeling.
Yeah.
Because you're going to lose a lot of fish. Topwater's exciting, the explosions are exciting, but you're going to lose a lot of fish in topwater game simply because they foul hook it. I've caught them in the tail, I've caught them in the side of the head, and then you get them right by the boat and they come off. That's happening to everybody. But
yeah.
Which is why it's my locator and not my lure to fish with.
Right.
I do find them. I see them blow up or I see them chase it, and then whoever I'm taking, whoever's with me, hey, that's where they're at.
And see,
I'll fish all day for one topwater
and
bite.
Absolutely.
I think that's one of the things that happens is, like, I have really kind of fell in love. Mud Duck says he just keeps working it, and that's my man Corey up there, and
Corey Menzel.
no, Corey, he lives up in Swansboro up there. But anyway, hey, Fishing Fanatic, thank you guys for being on here. You guys are starting to chime out. Wes Lovell says he gets 50% hookups on top. And you watch Wes, he's another one. I pry his brain every time I watch his videos. And I asked Wes one day, how high has the sun got to be for you to quit throwing top water? He's like, the sun had nothing to do with it. He said he throws top water till they quit biting.
Right.
And
I'm with him.
and
I think it gets too hot, not too bright.
right.
They're
And-
a little more lethargic and they might chill out. That's why in the fall and spring you throw it all day.
Right.
Especially if you got a good overcast day. It
Uh-huh.
seems like they love overcast.
Yep.
Maybe a little drizzling rain.
I think it's like any other thing that you're fishing. It's like go out there and fish it, and the more that you've got it tied on, the more you're working that bait, the more you're going to figure out. Number one, you're going to find the fish, you're going to figure out where they are, and you're going to figure out why they're biting. So I hope that this has helped everybody.
It's helped me. I've learned some stuff.
I was just here to learn something.
We actually took a little bit longer than what we planned, but hey guys, let's do the giveaway. Will y'all help me out with that?
Let's do it.
All right, so we caught him at 11 a.m. My man said, Duncan Ninja, just as bright and found fish. That's what we're saying, man. Fish, just keep fishing it. You're going to figure out. I think that if you're not catching fish, it's because you're not in front of fish,
Well,
or they're not feeding.
And then if you're only fishing 2 foot of water column or less like we are, if you're working the top, you're basically working the whole column.
Right.
The only thing you're going to miss is a flounder probably.
Yeah.
The only time that I've seen top water not grab the attention like another bait is if they're at their tails up and mud in the nose.
Yeah.
That's the
Soft
only-
plastic is what I definitely.
I've
put
got to
it
get it in front of their face.
Yeah.
I've seen them not bat an eye when
Right.
they're tailing.
Yeah.
That's the only time.
Right. If they're feeding, and that's the thing, I've been fortunate enough lately, and that's what's helped me with learning, is I've got in front of fish that happen to be feeding, and I'm doing these techniques that I'm telling you and what they've told me, and I've been having some success anyway. So I want to do a giveaway for you guys. We actually have 5 lures that we're going to give away, and so here's how we're going to work this, right? What we're going to do, we're gonna do a countdown. Thank you, Wes, for being on. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna do a countdown. I'm gonna do like 3, 2, 1, go. When I say go, you leave a comment and say top water. All right. One guy's got a question. How do you pick the colors? What do you guys think about colors? We'll do that. Answer that question right quick.
I
Not partial.
yeah, I don't really. I think the color's more for the angler, but I do think that a yellow chartreuse bottom really makes a difference for me. I've switched from other colors to those and caught fish and then switched back on purpose because I knew I was on the fish and they stopped and I started throwing the chartreuse or the yellow and they started catching again. So maybe it's just luck of the draw. They were the same lure, same style. They were just different colors.
That's what I did this morning. I threw a chartreuse and hooked up. So
One of your prizes is the secret weapon top water.
oh yeah. We'll talk about that when we go to give the prizes away. So check this out. Here's what we're gonna do. Thank you. I appreciate it, Josh. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a 3, 2, 1, and I'm gonna say 3, 2, 1, go. When I say go, you're gonna leave a comment and you're gonna say top water. And so what we're gonna do is
They're already doing it.
whoever types in top water, we're gonna catch the name. I'm gonna get these guys to help me catch the name. We're gonna put the names into a hat, and then we're gonna draw. And I got 5 lures to be able to give away. So whoever those names are, we'll call them out. You can hit me up on Facebook, whatever. I'll get your address, and I'm gonna mail them to you. So let's go over here. You got a pen and paper in the fishing hut?
Yes, sir.
We'll write those down. Oh, I done messed your date night up, didn't I?
Look, that's the one that's catching the fish. That's my fishing partner.
Yeah. You want to introduce yourself to the YouTube world?
I'm okay.
So meet okay.
My papers ain't been used.
All right, here we go. I'm going to show you the lures that we have real quick that we're giving away. Hope I didn't just make you dizzy. We got a Spook Junior. I've been catching fish on that one. We got the mirror lure. This is the Top Dog Junior. Top Dog Junior. This is Windy.
808 color.
808.
That just happened to be the first topwater lure I ever purchased.
Yep. This is the smaller skitter walk, and I've had some luck on that redfish color right there. Oh, let me go by the top secret right quick. The one knocker, windy, choppy days, great lure for that. And then this is the top secret. Can't tell nobody, but we're blasting it all over YouTube right now.
Actually, it's already been blasted. I learned about that one from Captain Rennie Clark, one of his videos from Tournament Trail Charters. He's an awesome YouTube teacher for sure.
Yeah, you got to check him out, man.
He's awesome.
But that's the frog, and people will laugh at you, but laugh back at them when you catch fish with it. I catch a lot of pinfish with that one for some
And if
reason.
you know, that's another topwater thing. If you're catching pinfish on topwater, stay there. Continue to fish. Because if there's pinfish there, there's something there that's ready to eat them. Every time I catch pinfish, I catch either a red or a trout right behind them.
There we
9
go.
times out of 10.
All right, so here we go. All right, I hope we still have a few people on. I can't tell because I'm doing this on my phone. But anyway, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to give you 60 seconds to chime in. All right? I'm going to give you 60 seconds, and then we're going to put your names in a hat, okay? So somebody help me out with a I got it right here. All right, you ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Top water.
Say top water. All right, there's Mud Duck,
Mud duck. Got it.
James Davis, Alan Williams,
I know him.
the Duncan Ninja,
The Drunken Ninja.
Gamey OT, Josh Hollingsworth,
Holy cow.
Wesley Carl. I think I can scroll back.
Jamie.
Oh yeah, I can scroll back. All right, so you got James Davis, Alan Williams. I just got a message from Ryan Hodson said top water on Facebook. Go ahead.
I'm glad you can scroll back because I got mud duck,
Oh, you got mud duck. That was like the first one.
Jane,
Game game is GAMIOTEA.
GAMIETOA,
All right, Mud Duck TV.
mud duck,
James Davis,
James Davis,
Alan Williams.
Alan
He's
Williams,
the one that taught me to topwater trout fish.
Cool.
Drunken Ninja,
Drunken Ninja.
I know him. He will fish your spots. Do not let him know where your spots are.
Josh Hollingsworth.
I know that man.
Yep. Josh is the firefighter. He's been on some of our videos too. That's my buddy, man. Wesley Carl,
Wesley Carl,
Zach Davis,
Zach Davis,
and Pro Tangler 27.
Pro.
Gamiotia. His name is Robert Gamiotia.
I got Gamio Tia.
Yeah, you got him. You got Pro Tangler 27.
Pro Tangler 27 is the
Yeah.
last one I got.
All right, that's it. That was the last one.
I'm gonna rewrite them a little neater. I was scribbling.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put these names in a hat. What we can do is we can cut them up real quick. We'll cut them up,
Okay.
put them in a hat, and then we're gonna draw it. So tell you what we'll do. Yeah, that'll work. Will you cut those up and put them in a hat for me right quick? All right. So what we're gonna do while Ozzy's doing that, I'm gonna take Dustin, and we'll go over here and talk kayaks for just a minute. Jim Lamb. He said he don't want no stinking lure. That's my man. That's my sniper buddy from the Army, man. Let's go talk kayaks for just a second, man. You want to do that?
Yeah, what's up?
All right, so here's Dustin. Dustin basically runs the kayaking division of what we do here. Oh yeah, Fishing Fanatic. Hey man, put Fishing Fanatic on there too. Got to get Fishing Fanatic in there. All right, so Pelican.
Yeah, man. Waiting on the new ones.
Waiting on the new ones. So Pelican has come out with the new pedal drive.
Yeah.
Gippin slabs. Oh, Giggin slabs. Hey, Ozzy,
Yes, sir.
add Giggin slabs on there too.
All right.
Y'all know I'm gonna try my best to hook everybody up.
Yeah, just released it yesterday, iCast.
So they just released yesterday from
Probably
my
won't get it
cast.
till February, though.
Yeah, it's gonna be February or so.
February, March.
It, man, I tell you, it looks really good. It looks just like the Hobie Drive. I don't know, maybe they got a patent run out or something, or
They call it the high drive. I don't know. Some of the videos I was watching from iCast, the guys were saying it's smoother than the Hobie 180.
right.
So, I don't know. I gotta try it out myself.
That's a big step, man.
Yeah, I don't want to. I hate to put that out there. But that's
Hey, you know, people,
like you said, that's a big step.
yeah, people are saying what they're saying.
Yep.
You know, the thing that's kind of crazy. Wade Moore, hey man, Wade Moore. One more name, Wade Moore. All right, so the thing that you know, with Pelican. So check this out, y'all. I don't know how many people, if you actually know this or not. This looks like, okay, it looks like two pieces pressed together, whatever. And I was always skeptic, like it's going to come apart or whatever. This is a plastic weld that will not come apart. The rest of the kayak will break before this weld right here comes apart. That is absolutely the farthest thing from the truth to think that you have to worry about this. It's pressed. It starts from a sheet and is actually pressed into what this kayak is. That's the reason they're able to make this thing so much lighter.
They call it thermo molding.
Thermo molding, right? And so, anyway, I have become a fan of Pelican. I really like Pelican kayaks. I don't own one, but man, they've come out with that pedal drive. My wife needs a pedal drive, and so anyway, we'll see. Maybe she needs a Hobie, and I need a Pelican. We'll see how that goes. But that's pretty interesting. Josh Hollingsworth said he loves his Pelican.
Yeah, man.
Josh bought his here.
Yeah, they got all the features. They're just a lot cheaper than your Wilderness and Hobie. And
Yeah, you know, so
I've
anyway,
had
price
one
point, it's hard
for,
to beat them.
Yeah, the one I've got one that's over 6 years old, and I've never had any issues with it.
Yeah.
You go on Pelican's website, they got videos, man. They're running over them with trucks, dropping them out of buildings.
Right.
And they're holding up just as good as the rest of them. Old
Yeah.
Town.
Yep.
wilderness.
That's it, man. Pretty incredible. But that's exciting, man, that they're coming out. Oh, man, they might be shutting the store down. That's a sign to get out when they turn the lights out on you. But anyway, hey, y'all ready? Y'all ready to do it? Okay, here we go. Got the hat going.
Fathom Fishing.
I want to show you by Fathom Fishing. Upside down, but that's fine. No problem. I'll show you the names in the hat. Bam, yow. There they go. Okay. Close your eyes. Joss one out. Joss the name.
Who we got? Wesley Call.
Wesley Carl. Man, I'm so glad Wesley Carl. I am so glad Wesley Carl won one, man. He like chimes into everything. Hey Ryan, we did get you, Ryan Hodson. He said, I tried, laugh out loud. We got you. So Wesley Carl. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go right to left. All right. So Wesley, man, I'm gonna hook you up with the one knocker. All right. So I'm gonna put your name with that bait. There you go, dude. Got you squared away. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, next name. You got it, Roger? Can you read Ozzy's writing?
Is that upside down or upside down?
Is it inside out or backwards?
Oh, that's the menu.
No,
Hey, Wesley Carl said he'll come pick his up tomorrow.
the drunken ninja.
Oh, Drunken Ninja. All right, good deal. Well, guess what? Drunken Ninja, you are getting the top secret skitter walk. Okay? So that's you. And have you hooked up. And for everybody, man, that are winning, what I want you to do is hit me up on Facebook so that he said he'll get it from Roger. Drunken Ninja said he'll get it from you.
Fishing Saturdays.
All right, cool.
I'll give him one that looks just like this, but it's just gonna have a few scars.
Yeah, there you go. All right, next name.
Mud Duck.
Mud Duck. My man Corey won. Awesome, man. Are y'all like doing this on purpose or what? That's so cool. All right, Corey. So here's you, man. Got you a skitter walk. We're gonna be fishing together real soon. But I'll mail that to you if you want, man. You just let me know. Shoot me a text. But I got you hooked up. Where you got the name? Where that name go? Here it is. Mud Duck. How about that, Corey? Good for you, man. He says he'll get his whenever we fish together. Hey, you're very welcome, man. Drunken Ninja. Okay, next one.
Gave me Toa.
Game of Toa. That's Robert gave me a Toa. Gave me a Toa. And man, I am so sorry, dude, if I'm tearing your name up. Y'all know I speak cornbread, okay? So that's what's up, man. So gave me a Toa. Robert, that's you, buddy. Hit me up on Facebook. I'll send that to you in the mail, man. We'll get you hooked up. Last one. What you got going?
Alan Williams.
Alan Williams. He chimed in right near the end, man. So Alan, dude, this is actually becoming one of my favorites. I've been
That is my favorite.
yeah, I've been having some success with that that Chartreuse Spook Jr. And actually yellow bottom. What's been happening for me is whenever I get a big donkey that steals my lure, this is what was like handy, and I put it on there. Gave me a 2, and he said, "Cool, man." He said worse. That's cool, brother. All right, guys, man. I tell you what. What Lamb say? Hey, I really appreciate all you guys tuning in. We did not mean this to go an hour, but when you're talking fishing, it just happens. I messed up Ozzy's date tonight. That got kind of crazy. I'm so sorry about it. I told Ozzy like 10 minutes, dude. Just be here like 10 minutes, man. That's it. So I owe them a dinner somewhere or something. I don't know. And man, Jacob and Tommy, got them up in here. Appreciate y'all stopping in. Luke, he stayed away. He hid, man. What's up, Luke? He hid the whole time. I don't know what had happened, but anyway, really appreciate you guys. Thank you, man, for the great show. Appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in. And God bless you. And now we're going to figure out how to turn it off.